This is Toxic Tuesday on the Bill Press Show.
Every day, it seems, there's more evidence of the danger of all the toxic talk we hear on right-wing talk radio. Here's the latest. According to the FBI, there have been 113 violent attacks against U.S. Census workers this season. And no wonder, after right-wing radios denounced the census and anybody connected with it as part of some commie Marxist big government takeover. Now, here's what's really scary. 29 of those attacks involved guns. In one case, out in Yuba City, California, a woman pulled a shotgun on a census worker. He called the police, and she turned the gun on them. They, in turn, shot and killed her. And, of course, I immediately thought about talk show host Eric Erickson. Remember? He's the guy who said he'd pull a shotgun on any long-form census worker who walked up to his door. It's the strongest evidence I've seen lately of one of the points I make in my new book, Toxic Talk. Toxic talk is not only repulsive, it's dangerous because some people hear all that toxic talk on the radio and take that as a license to go out and commit toxic acts.
Bill's new book, Toxic Talk, in stores now. And get your signed, personalized copy at BillPressShow.com.
Hey, 13 minutes before the top of the hour now, the Bill Press Show. Speaking of toxic talk, man, you hear a lot of it from Glenn Beck, but there's a man who decided to do something about it. Angelo is the founder and editor of a website, StopBeck.com, aimed at encouraging sponsors to drop their sponsorship, or companies to drop their sponsorship of the Glenn Beck program. Angelo, good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, good morning. Thank you for having me.
Hey, when did you start this little crusade of yours?
July 2nd, 2009. So about a year ago.
Just about a year ago. And the purpose, again, is to get sponsors to drop the Beck show. Radio, TV, or both?
Both.
Both? Okay. Why?
Well, in part, it's because of a pattern of willful distortions and willful deceit. And I think that's what's really important here. It's not because of a single response. It's not some sort of reactionary temper tantrum. But if Fox News and Glenn Beck won't be responsible and hold themselves accountable, then, instead of just throwing ourselves and our hands up in the air and saying, well, there's nothing we can do about it, I think that we can do things about it. And that's encouraging the people that pay for these things, his sponsors, to stop doing that. And that's exactly what we've been doing.
So you approach the sponsors, right? What do you do? Do you have a meeting with them, or do you phone them? How does it work?
Well, basically, the core of this effort is actually Twitter-based. And so we're using the Twitter social networking tool to sort of organize people, and that's really what gives some potency to this effort. And so when their advertisements first appear, I try to give the sponsors sort of a heads up and let them know that their ads that their ads have started appearing, and ask them if they're willing to remove their advertisements, either from Glenn Beck or Fox News as a whole. And then sometimes they include some information about what Glenn Beck has said, and sort of a demonstrated pattern of deceit and reckless disregard for the truth. And then if they choose not to remove their advertisements, then we start publicly pressuring them to do so. And that usually is enough to sort of encourage them to take their advertisements away, because they don't want their brand associated with that kind of toxic talk.
And the site or the connection, we have a link up on our website, StopBeck.com is your website, correct?
Correct.
And the Twitter is twitter.com/StopBeck, right?
That's right.
Okay, so we'll have the link up to the website. But so where are you located, by the way? Where are you based?
I'm based in Madison, Wisconsin.
All right, Madison, Wisconsin. Okay. Hey, by the way, I'm going to be out there coming up for a book signing myself. When is that? It's not on the 24th, I think it is. No, 23rd. Sorry, 23rd. So I hope to see you out there. But so you're just one guy, in Madison, Wisconsin, and do this, or do you have other people, around the country working with you?
I'm just one guy, but of course I sort of look at this as very much a collective effort, and I think that's directly what Twitter and other kinds of social networking tools provide. And so I often describe the effort as, us or we, because really that's what gives it its potency. It's the people that are participating in it and the demonstrated persistence that we have. I mean, we didn't just, throw a temper tantrum last July and then go away. We've made it very clear that this effort is not going to go away until some degree of accountability or responsibility is restored. And I think that's the key here. It's that long-term commitment that we've provided. And so I'm just one guy.
How many people? How many followers on Twitter?
Right now, just about 8,000.
Yeah, good for you. All right, so then, as a result of your efforts, how many sponsors, have you had any results? How many sponsors have agreed to drop the program?
Right now, the public list that we have, the named advertisers, is at 126. But actually, your former guest, Howard Kurtz, wrote an article a few months ago that said that the number was over 200. So, and that's consistent with my internal numbers. So it's definitely exceeded by 200.
And big names on that list? Like who?
Very big names. Pretty much all the major car companies, Toyota, Mercedes, BMW. BMW even turned down free advertisements. Fox started running free ads for them, and they said, no, thank you. Mercedes, Subaru, hotel chains, Holiday Inn, Best Western. Apple actually has dropped Fox News as a whole. GlaxoSmithKline, and so I could go on and on. And
well, if all these sponsors are dropping their ads from Glenn Beck, then he's not making that much money for Fox. Why do they keep him on the air?
Well, I think that's really the real story here, because what it does demonstrate very clearly is that Fox News has a vested interest in propagating a particular political message, so much so that they're willing to do so at a financial loss. And I think that's the big takeaway here. This clearly demonstrates their willingness to advance an agenda, even if it's going to cost them financially. And recognize that he still has a couple outlying sponsors here at home, very small ones. He's losing substantial money. But in the broadcast of his show in the UK has run without any advertisements for 4 months now. It's been completely commercialless. So this effort is pretty wide-reaching and does affect Fox News pretty deeply. But that message and ginning those people up and preying on people's anxieties is precisely what they're interested in doing for political purposes, and that's what this demonstrates.
Well, it's true of Fox News, and it's true of right-wing talk radio across the country. I got to tell you, as I discovered when I was writing my book, Toxic Talk. Now, Angelo, last question. People want to help out, right? What should they do?
To help out, they can visit StopBeck.com. There's a primer right on the front page on how to participate and support the StopBeck effort. They can follow on Twitter and basically just look for the updates. We go after the advertisers and encourage them to stop supporting this kind of hate.
All right. Listen, good man. I love what you're doing, and congratulations. I love people to take matters into their own hands. Don't just complain about it. Do something about it. Angelo Caruso, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
All right. The website again is StopBeck.com.
The Bill Press Show continues.